What's up, guys? How many of you remember that opening that you just seen in the video? You guys remember that? If you remember that, you've been with me for a very long time. But that was the opening that I used to do to all my videos years ago. You know what, guys? This month of August, matter of fact, in a couple more days, it'll be 6 years that I hopped on that plane in Newark, New Jersey with Lut and decided, you know what? I'm going to live in the Philippines. 6 years ago. I can't believe it. Time goes by. I'm just going to talk about like some of the things that I regret, that I don't regret, just going through the 6 years here. Things I've learned, what I would do, what I wouldn't do again, things I would change. Just kind of going to go over that. You know, maybe somebody can learn from my experience. You know, one of the things was I spent some time here, and I always say two people spend time here. And I don't mean 2-week vacation with your girlfriend or your wife's family, partying and having a good time. I mean spend some time here. I spent like 2 weeks, 4 weeks, I think I'm thinking back now, 4 months, 6 months. I spent some time here, guys, but you know what, for real? Like that was really nothing. That is, I mean, you get such a tiny little bit of what life is really like here, living here in the Philippines. But I always say spend time here. You have people that get married and they come back and they visit, and there's nothing wrong with that, but then they buy property here, they buy land here. The property goes through their wife, and they're back in the States and they're working, and they never really spent that time here. You might buy property, build a house, and then when you decide you're going to retire after a few months, you're like, hey, this is really what I want. But I did spend some time here, but not near as much. You learn a lot. I have a friend, matter of fact, I have a friend, Lucas Musser, got off the plane 10 years ago. Might be 11 years now. Might even be longer. Never been here, got off the plane, he's still here. More power to you. There are people that do that. But you know what? I'm going to run down below clips of us being in the airport and stuff. Of course, there's no sound. If you want to go back and check them out, check them out. But I watched this morning, and you think back. You know, I sold everything I owned. Cars, you name it. If I owned it, motorcycles, I sold it all to retire and come here. When I left the States, I didn't want to owe anybody any penny. I didn't want to make any payments. I didn't want to hold on to a house and rent. I didn't want any of that headache. Sold it all. We got on the plane. We had 4 suitcases, 2 backpacks, and I think we shipped about 3 buy-in boxes here. Everything. Sold or gave it away. Didn't know, I mean, we had a plan, of course, but plans change. Things change in life. You learn from mistakes and you move on. You learn from your accomplishments and you move on. So things change. One of the reasons we did come back was Luis's father wasn't doing well. And we knew when we came back, we were going to spend time in the province. Living out in the province, it's provincy. Bought a house, didn't buy a house out there, but rented a house, a tiny little house, $100 a month, sat right on the beach, 2 hectares, beautiful little place. And people will say, Philly, why don't you buy a house? Why don't you buy property and buy a house? A couple reasons. First of all, I don't know where I'm going to be. I've been here 6 years, and I still don't know where I really want to permanently be. You know, we rented that house down there, and we bought a few furnishings down there. I think a TV. What did we buy? A burner stove, 2-burner stove, a little refrigerator, and a hot water heater. And that's one of the things, you know, what do you want to do? Do you want to buy something? Do you want to get something fully furnished? Well, you don't have to worry about nothing. Take time to pack up and leave. I don't have to take anything with me. Throw my backpack on, grab my suitcase and go. We did buy some furnishings down there, and we sold it, of course, when we left, but we never really got the money out of it. But beautiful little place down there. Up here in Cashville Apartments, we had friends that were staying there, and they said, hey, there's an apartment open. Come check it out. So we had buried Lut's father. Like I said, he was sick, and he passed away, and we buried her father. Then we came up here, and we came up for like 2 weeks, checked out this apartment, went to the furniture store here, the department stores here, got all our furniture paid for, bought for, went back to the province for another week. Meanwhile, everything was coming to the apartment, everything was put in. Friends of ours took care of everything. Then boom, we moved up here. I think it was 13,000 pesos a month, a little over 200. But it was nice. It was a nice little place. I don't regret staying there. But one of the things I always think to myself, should I have just rented apartments that were furnished? Now, I've seen some apartments that were furnished here, and they're barely furnished, you know. I might have a kitchen table and 2 chairs and an old TV, beat up old furniture, a bed upstairs. And it's like, do I really want that? You know, do I have to go out and get things cleaned, reupholstered, and you do all that and it's at your expense? Or do I want to go out and buy things and furnish my own place? Me personally, I guess it's up to the individual, right? If you want to do that or not. We did that. We started out with like cheap furniture. And after a while, it was cheap furniture. Now, could we have gotten it all reupholstered and recushioned? Sure. But over the course of, in Cashville, over in Daewoo, we moved over to Daewoo. Same price as our apartment. We were in Cashville, but a lot bigger. And then from there, we moved over here to this house. But here's the thing, guys. We have a fully furnished house here. TVs and couches and 6-person dining table, American-style refrigerator, American-style stove, American-style washer. Do we need that all? Not really. Not really. And here's the thing. When we do decide to move, it will be out of Angeles City. Let's put it this way. But now we got to haul all that with us. Was it a mistake to buy all this? Did we really need it? The TV, the girls don't watch it. I mean, unless Lit wants to watch a movie with them. I use the TV. But I think if I had to do it again, I don't know if I would move and rent a full house like this. Be perfectly happy and fine in a small apartment. And I don't mean like a tiny apartment where everybody's jammed in one area. Our apartment in Cashville had 2 bedrooms. Of course, they were upstairs. 2 bathrooms, one upstairs, one downstairs. Nice little kitchen, dining room area, little wet kitchen in the back. Could we have survived and lived there? Sure. So would I do that all over again? I don't know. We do have the furniture. We don't have to worry about in the future. I don't have to worry about, renting a place that's furnished and then, dingy couches and beds and all that. Those are one of the things that you have to consider. Would I rent a full house like this again? No. I mean, I got a good deal. Sometimes even getting a good deal, it's not worth it because, you know what, the money I'm paying out in rent right now, I could be saving, living somewhere cheaper. So would I do that again? Probably not a big, huge house, even though I got a deal. But yeah. Another thing is, when you get here, motors, what type of transportation? It's like, I've always ridden motorcycles, so I'm like, I want a motorcycle. That's one thing I do want. Matter of fact, my first motorcycle I bought was a 2012 Honda TMX 155. And that was prior to Louisa coming back to the States. And when she came back, once again, we had a little tiny apartment over in Hensonville for like, I think it was 6 months, or I forget what it was. And there again, I bought furniture, couches, TV, a refrigerator, air conditioning. Not fully furnished like we have now. But then when she came back, when she came to the States, of course, we sold it all off to friends that were here. And yeah, we did take a loss on it, but what are you going to do? Now the TMX went down to the province, and it's still down there. It's still running around. It might be beat to hell, but they got it and it's still running around. Would I change that? No, I wouldn't change things like that. Those were all learning experiences. But now when we're here, got another motorcycle. What was it? Let me think. A Raider? A Raider? I think, I bought the Raider. Sold that. Got the, what was it? The Rouser. Got the Rouser. Sold that. Now I have the NMAX. I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change it. Some people say, no, I won't drive here. That's fine. You don't need transportation. Like a motorbike and things. You don't have to. You don't have to have a car. It's up to what you want. I wanted a motorbike. Did I need a car? Probably not. But I did buy a car, a used car here. Allow me to, get around and do things. Do I regret buying a car here? The first car, no, I paid cash for it. Sold that, used that money as a down payment, but now I'm making payments. Now I'm back to that Western lifestyle thing where I have to make payments monthly. Do I regret buying the car? There's times I'm like, yeah, I could be saving that money. Then there's other times like, no, this is convenient. But no, I guess I don't regret it. But one of the things I do regret, one of the things that I definitely regret was not getting out when I first got here and checking more areas out. And I remember I said, you know what? I'm going to start checking more areas out, and looking around. And then you just get kind of settled in to your everyday life, your everyday routine here. I do regret that. I should have been, Lit and I, at the time, Hannah Grace was in the province. She was still in the province. Even when Lit was in America, Hannah Grace was still in the province. Now, we had talked about petitioning her to come to the States, but then her father was getting sick, and it's like, okay, we don't want to do that petition because it could take some time, and then what if we don't follow through with that? So she was still in the province. So then when Lit and I got back here, she was still down in the province. She was doing school. She was in the middle of school. So that's why she didn't come with us. You guys, some people say, well, where was Hannah Grace? Hannah Grace was in the province. She was going to a Catholic private school. We let her in there. She was doing good. But at that time was when we should have been out, like kind of checking things out. Where do we want to go? Like I said, we were in Cashville. We were only paying $1,200 or $12,000 a month, a little over $200. Our electric bill wasn't high. Our waters were cheap. Things were a lot cheaper here now, or then than they are now. And my regret is we didn't go out and check more places out. And we're doing that now within the next couple of years. But I do regret that. But other things, let me think. Sorry store. If you guys followed us for a while, I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm just talking. Our sorry store. People said in the beginning, oh, sorry store. That's a waste of time, waste of money. All right. Okay. There are horror stories and there's good stories, but let me create my own story. Let me find out. The place we got our first sorry store over in Daewoo, we stumbled upon it. I don't know how much the rent is. I can't remember. But it was a perfect situation. It had a room upstairs, a bathroom upstairs, bathroom downstairs, an area for the Sorry store. Lut's brother was having some problems down in the province, so we brought him up. He stayed at the store, ran the store. I mean, Lut was there, I was there. We never once forked out money for that store out of our pocket. In other words, made enough money to pay the rent, pay the electric, pay the water. Of course, we didn't pay her brother. We paid him by feeding him and letting him stay there, and good worker. But we never lost money. And then we moved over to the other store, our last store over on Don Guico, and it was a bigger store. And of course, you're making more money because she was selling fish, fruits, vegetables, things like that. Yes, you're making more, but you're also putting out more. But we never lost money. And I said the perfect scenario would have been, if you had a building at your house, if you have a house here, and you could run your business out of that house, perfect scenario. You don't have to pay rent. But do I regret that? No, I don't regret it. Lut doesn't regret it. We learned a lot. We had a good time. The people were amazing that we met. It was a great time. Great time. But no, I don't regret that at all. Now, if I was forking out money out of my pocket every month to pay the bills and stuff, yeah, then I would have regretted. Yeah, as you know, one of the main reasons we just quit running the store, it's like way too much time. You are putting so much time into a business, and you're not making the money. Or you're not making a big profit. You know, getting up at 4 in the morning to get to the market, to get your vegetables, to get your stuff, to go to the store, to set it up, to be open by 5. You're there all day, all morning, doing it over day after day after day. It takes a lot out of it. It takes a lot out of a person. But you know what? People do it. People in the province do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. They do it. Maybe you look at it a different way, is if, okay, yes, I'm not making much, but I am making something and it allows me to survive here. But I guess you can look at it too. As a foreigner, I have a pension, I'm bringing in monthly pay, or I'm bringing in monthly income every month. That, you know what, I don't need the Sorry store because I'm already bringing in enough money to survive here with my wife and my kids and my family. I think it's different if that is your sole only income. And I would never tell anybody to come here without a guaranteed monthly income. Don't come here with savings. That savings can go. Don't come here with a savings and say, all right, I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to open up a restaurant. I'm going to do this. You dump all your money into that, and in the end, it doesn't take off. Now what? But no, I don't regret that. I don't regret that. I don't regret moving here. I mean, I could have stayed back in the States. Sometimes I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I could have stayed back, or I can even go back now. I'm 56. I can go back now, get another job, work, save more money, get another retirement, get another pension, and then come back. But no, I don't. It's not my desire. It's not what I want to do. Sure, I could. One of the biggest things that people will have a problem with, and I'm not saying everybody, but there are people out there. I know there are people out there now that they have houses here. They have really nice houses here. They invested in, they bought in, built a house, had it the way they want it, and maybe they did it years ago, and now they're, I'm going to wait till my kids grow up and get into college and get out of college. And, there's always something else that is going to come along. Something else that is going to come along. My kids are now out of college. Oh, now my son or my daughter, they're getting married. All right, I got to stay here for that. Now they get married, and all right, let's make some plans to move to the Philippines. Oh, now they're pregnant. Oh, here comes my first grandchild. Oh, my second grandchild. Oh, my grandchildren are my world, they're everything to me. And that dream that they had kept getting pushed back further and further and further. And now they're retiring, or they're getting ready to retire, or maybe they could have retired early and say, you know what, I'm coming to the Philippines. It was my dream to come to the Philippines. I got my house, everything's built, everything's ready to go. But A, B, C, and D came up. And now what? Now you're locked in again. You know, I see that, I hear that. And I understand that. And it is hard to do. That's why you have some people, all right, 6 months here, 6 months back with my grandkids, or 6 months back with my family. It's hard. It's hard for some people to do that, to break free. I think it takes a person to just, boom, break free, come over here, live over here, and just be a part of this. Be a part of living in the Philippines. Yeah, you've got internet, you can talk to your family, you got emails, you can send pictures, there's a way to communicate, but it's not like being there. You know, I mean, you're here and, oh, the grandkid's sick, oh my God, now you're worried, oh, the grandkid. It's hard. It's hard, I understand that. People get stuck in what they know back in the States. I've been doing this for years and years, and I even said it, and I watched my video about when I came over here, and I'm like, you know what, you've been stuck in that routine, you know, for your whole life, 50 years old, whatever it is. And now you're reaching out and doing something that is completely, you know, different than what you've known. You know, people say, hey, you're living a dream. You know what? Yeah, I'm living my dream. I'm living what I've dreamed about doing. But I understand. I mean, a lot of people get love sick too. You know, they want to be here and they can't get here, and their girlfriend's here, their wife's here, or I understand that. I do understand that, but I don't regret it. I do not regret moving here one bit. I enjoy it. It's a learning experience from the second I stepped off that plane. Like I said in the beginning of the video, man, I did 2 weeks here, a month here, 2 months here, 4 months, 6 months. That doesn't even get you ready. That don't even get you ready for what it's really like to live here. You know, you learn every day when you step off that plane. You're learning just new things here. You know, the people, the culture, what people think, what they say. And I think it's different living in different areas. I think the people are different. What I mean to people, the way they live are different areas in the Philippines. Are the Filipinos friendly people? Sure they are. They're happy people. A lot of times you'll hear people say, well, you don't know what their motive is. You don't know what their motive is. Well, maybe their motive is nothing. Maybe their motive is to be friendly. Maybe their motive is to offer you that hospitality. You know, I know people here that, expats, that they've gone broke and they don't have anything here. And Filipino people have helped them out, fed them, gave them food, gave them clothes. And these people don't have a lot of money. So it's like you learn these things every day. But, wow, 6 years. 6 years. Got on that plane in Newark, me and Lut. I was, I don't know, probably 15, 20 pounds heavier then. Didn't know what to expect. Didn't know, in your mind, you've already have said, here's what I'm expecting. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's how things are going to be. But things change. Things really do change. You can have it all set up in your mind, how things are going to be. And maybe they will. But I guarantee you, it won't. It will change. This place can, I think, change you for the better or the worse. You can be a miserable person here, and I've seen it. Do I have my moments? Sure. I have my moments like every other foreigner has their moments. But you got guys that have been here years, and they still just complain about everything. Everything. Oh, I went to the bank and I can't believe I had to wait this long. Oh, I went here and I can't believe the waitress didn't come and acknowledge me. Or, they think they're entitled. I don't know what they think they're entitled to. Or I went here and this person, they wouldn't even look at me. Or I don't know what you think you're entitled to. Things move slow here. Everybody knows that. So if you go into a restaurant and, the waitress didn't even come over and acknowledge me. Well, not like back in the States. Here you gotta, hey, wave your hand. Hey, wave, here. They'll come to you. Or like I said, some people just think they're entitled. They just think everybody should bow down, kiss their ass, look at me. And they're just grumpy people. And it's like, why are you so grumpy? Go back to the States. You will fit right in with all the grumpy people. But like I said, you do have your moments here. As a foreigner, you will have your moments. But it can change you. It can change you for the better, or it can change you for the worse. And if you're that miserable, why are you here? That's all I got to say. Why are you here? But the old saying, birds of a feather flock together. Most of these guys, and I've sat in different areas here and just ear hustle. It's called ear hustle. Hear what people say. And all they do is bitch. All they do is bitch. This, about this. Well, why? Obviously, the only reason you're here is because you got yourself a nice, beautiful, young Filipino. But beyond that, everything else is terrible here, But, 6 years. So there, I'm just rambling, guys. Sharing my feelings, sharing my experience here. One of the funny things, I look back at one of the videos, and like I said, if you've been following me for a long time, you remember that first place we had down in Luz Province. Cool little building, cool little house we rented, and it wasn't very huge. I mean, the living room, the kitchen, the dining room was all in one room with a bathroom in the back. But we stepped on the front porch and there was the ocean. It was beautiful. I remember I looked at the old video where we had the old monk. There was a monkey there, Mai. Monkey's name was Mai. But like I said, it was on 2 hectares, coconut trees, beautiful place down there. Why did we move down there? From down there? There's nothing down there, guys. There was nothing down in her province. But beautiful. I always said, when I went down to the province, people were, what's it like down there? Family members, what's it like? I would always say it was like opening up a National Geographic magazine and everything just coming to life. And then I was like thinking, could I live in the province? Would I be able to live down here? You sit there and you look at what are the necessity of things you need. All right, you need to bathe. All right, well, do you need a shower head? Do you need hot water? No, and you see them bucket or go in the river, soap up. You could do that. Do you really need a big microwave? Do you need a big stove to cook your meals on? When down here in the province, all they're doing is cooking it on a fire. I could cook a meal on a fire, like the cavemen. Do you really need air conditioning? Well, yeah, I kind of do. But could you survive without it? Sure. Could I live that province life? I always said I could live in a province, all right, if I had air conditioning and internet. Those are the 2 things I want, air conditioning and internet. Because that's just what I would like to have. But man, you're living like John Rambo, man. You're living like John Rambo out in the middle of nowhere. It's tough. Some people can do it. I have fallen underneath that Western lifestyle, and do I like it? Yeah, I mean, but do you need it? I don't. You just fall underneath. You get used to this lifestyle. You get used to your lifestyle back in the States, and when you come here, maybe the thing is because you can afford it. I can afford it. I can afford a brand new refrigerator, American style. I can afford a brand new washer, American style. I can afford to rent or stay in a house, and it's because you can afford it. But if you couldn't afford it, could you live like John Rambo out in the province? You know, I always said it was a much easier life, much simpler life. You don't have to deal with expats, and that's another thing. I'm telling you guys, it's easier not to deal with other expats than it is to deal with expats. And I have a few friends here that I talk to on a regular basis and stuff. They're great people, nice people. But do I have like a big army of friends here? No, because I don't want a big army of friends here. I just don't want them. Never had a big army of friends back in the States. It's not my thing. Maybe call me a weirdo or whatever, but you know, when you get a big army of friends and you get a lot of chismis going on, a lot of gossip going on, a lot of this going on, you know, but that's what you, if that's what you want, then that's fine. But let me, you know, I'm just thinking, like, running through my 6 years here. You know, now it's at the point where just routine. Go to bed, get up, do this, go eat, do this, do a video. It's becoming routine, and to me, I'm kind of getting bored. I'm not bored of my family. I'm not bored of my wife. I'm just getting bored. You'd rather be bored in the Philippines and be bored back in the States. What I mean bored is the daily routine. I want to change something up. I want to do something. Right now we're just saving. We're saving so we can, Look and I can do some more traveling to find out where we want to be. But guys, I'll go out and do this or go out and do that. Some of the things that people might say, just I have no interest in doing that. That's not my interest. That's why I say, a couple times a night I can feel it coming. Sometimes I'll just say, look, come on, let's go down to Barrio Barreto, down to Subic for a day or two. People say, well, Philly, you just got back not too long ago from scuba diving. Yeah, it's the everyday routine here. The everyday routine. But it's something I've come to accept because, we have Hannah Grace and she's in school, and we have Bing Bing and she's in school. So some of the things I want to do are put on hold. That was my choice. I don't regret that. That was my choice. And I know that. I know I got to just wait. It's a waiting game to be able to do and be able to go where we want to go. And then people are going to say, well, she's going to go to college and this and that. Well, yeah, okay. Okay. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to share my 6 years of my life here. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If you're thinking about retiring here, but you're just afraid of the unknown, you're not the only one. You're not the only one that's afraid of the unknown when it comes to retiring here, when it comes to living here. You might watch 5,000 YouTube channels out there, and you got people out there that are telling you what to do and giving you advice and this and that. It's all good advice. Put it and store it in the back of your head. Because when you step off that plane, it's completely different. You might get advice on, okay, how to open up a bank account or how to do this. Well, that all changes. How to travel from point A to point B. How to go about finding an apartment. But when you step off that plane, you're going to find out a lot of that is coming off of just their experience. And that's all it is. Their experience and what they went through. But it changes. It'll change. So, like I said, advice from other YouTubers and stuff, it's good. People have been giving out advices for years and years. Somebody said, hey, Philly, why don't you give out advice when it comes to opening up bank accounts or this or that? It's been done. It's been done a million times by a million vloggers from the past. And my thing is, if you're new and you're vlogging, stay away from that because it's been done in the past. Unless you're like, I think it's Jennifer Telly or whatever her name is. She's given up-to-date current advice on traveling here and things like that. That's great. That's great. But another thing, do I regret YouTubing? Nah, it grew. I mean, look at my old video. I'll put a link up at the end to the video when we were at the airport and how goofy and dumb and stupid I was, right? I wouldn't say stupid, just goofy, not knowing anything. And but then again, it's good to say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, than to say, I know exactly what I'm doing, because you're going to stumble along the way. And it grew from there, and and I enjoy doing it. And you guys you guys enjoy doing it, which means, gives me to this point, it's like I feel like I'm stale now with YouTube. I'm stale. I mean, how many more times can I walk around here? How many more times can I go here and here and here and here? And I know people love it. And I heard people tell me that I meet subscribers and they would say, you know what, Philly, thank you so much. You kept me alive and you kept me going during the pandemic. I watch your channel all the time. Thank you. Thank you. And that's great when I hear that from subscribers, that the fact that I kept people sane, basically, that couldn't leave their country to come here. And that's great. And I'm happy that helped people out and kept them sane, because for 2 years nobody could get here. Tourist-wise, that is. And now they're here. But do I regret? No, I don't regret doing YouTube. I mean, I've learned a lot in YouTube along the way, too. You learn. You learn that if one thing don't work, change it up and do something else. But like I said, even that right now, I just kind of feel stale, and I feel like what I'm putting out there I feel like it's just old. Like, all right, you've seen this, you've seen that, maybe you guys can leave comments and, hey, Philly, try doing this or try doing that, or we want to see this or we want to see that. But you got to remember, what one person wants to see, 40,000 more don't want to see. So, but no, I don't regret starting a YouTube channel at all. I met a lot of great people living here, and like I said, I'm people coming up and saying that I helped them get through the pandemic. It means a lot. It means a lot that I was able to help them through a hard time, help them through being locked down. Means a lot. It means a lot when they do come up and tell me that. And so anyways, guys, I guess I've rambled on long enough. If I sat here and thought of more stories and more things, I probably could. Just remember, guys, if you're thinking about it, take that step. Take that step. Give it a shot. One or two things. You're going to fail, and you learn from failing, or you're going to succeed. But you never know if you'll fail or succeed until you give it a shot. So, guys, thank you guys. Thank you guys that have been with me for this long. Appreciate it. Thank you guys that have joined recently. Got a fly flying around. I appreciate it. We're getting there. Like I said, let me know what you think. Let me know. Leave the comments below. And with that, we will talk to you guys later.